Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity boys hockey contest between the visiting Spartans of St. Mary's of Lynn and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. As you can see, the officials just coming out onto the ice, putting the nets in their proper spots, so the players should be out on the ice soon. Once they come out, I will give rosters for both teams in what should be a fun hockey contest today. A reminder to fans, as always, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. I will have all home games for both boys and girls hockey for Brookline being live streamed this season. And so you can stay tuned for those upcoming streams if you subscribe to the channel. Brookline is going to have an unusual home game on Saturday against Braintree High School, where they're actually going to be playing at Ryan Arena in Watertown. I'm not sure what the reason is for that, but I'm sure there is a reason. So be sure to stay tuned for future broadcasts. Subscribing can help. And as always, I encourage audience participation in the live chat. You can send a message as simple as "Go Brookline" or "Go St. Mary's." I always say, we don't care who it is you're rooting for. If your purpose of participating in the live chat is to bring good vibes and show support for these student athletes, we are happy to see it. Whether it's, for Brookline or for their opponents, doesn't matter. We appreciate good, supportive fans. If you want to give a shout out to a specific player, that's always a good reason. If you're tuning in to watch a family member or a friend, you can give them a shout out. If you want to let us know where you're tuning in from, that can be fun to find out with these online live streams that can be watched all over the world. Sometimes we hear about fans in different states or even different countries. And then if, on a more important side, if you notice any technical difficulties going on with the live stream, whether with the video or the audio, I encourage you to speak up and say something in the live chat. You never know, it might be something I don't notice on my end, and it might be something that's an easy fix. So if you notice something wrong with the video or the audio, speak up and say something. And then, of course, if I'm messing up anyone's names, first or last name, whether it's a Brookline or a St. Mary's player, I, again, encourage you to correct me in the live chat. I want to give these young men the best coverage I possibly can, and to me, part of that means getting their names right. And on the subject of names, we've now got both teams out on the ice. So let's read off some rosters. Let's start off with the visitors, the St. Mary's Spartans, who are here with their dark blue jerseys and gold jersey numbers. Going in order of jersey number for St. Mary's, first off we have a sophomore goalie, number 1, Matthew Smith Jr. Next, a sophomore defenseman, number 2, Michael Baldasser. A senior defenseman, number 4, Alex Chason. A sophomore forward, number 5, Aiden Fitzpatrick. A junior forward and captain, number 6, Cam McGonigal. A junior forward, number 7, Maddox Jacobson. A senior defenseman, number 8, Mark Hilton Jr. A junior forward, number 10, Joey Calder. A junior forward, number 11, Jack Hall. A sophomore forward, number 12, Jack DeLelio. A sophomore defenseman, number 14, J.J. Avery. A junior forward, number 15, Nick Thornton. A junior defenseman and captain, number 17, Jaden Driscoll. A freshman forward, number 18, Chase Collins. A freshman defenseman, number 19, Kalen Huddle. A sophomore forward, number 22, Steven Nason. A junior forward, number 23, Drew Waters. A sophomore forward, number 24, Finn Racky. A sophomore defenseman, number 27, Michael Nerich. A sophomore goalie, number 31, Brady Baldasser. A sophomore forward, number 44, Evan Toto. A sophomore defenseman, number 77, Caleb Racky. A freshman forward, number 87, Aiden Goodwin. And a senior forward and captain, number 91, Benjamin Fry. Head coach of the St. Mary's boys hockey team is Matthew Smith Sr. So that is the roster for the visitors. Now let's move over to our left and let's take a look at the hosting Brookline High Warriors, coming out in their special BU-inspired jerseys that they unveiled this year to honor Travis Roy, the late great Travis Roy, as part of the Junior Beanpot Tournament. Going in order of jersey number for Brookline, first off we have a sophomore defenseman, number 2, Jack Herman. A freshman forward, number 3, Ricky Ace. A senior defenseman and captain, number 4, Noah Gurdon. A sophomore forward who wears either number 6 or number 24, Greg Aptekman. A junior forward, number 7, Connor Erdman. A senior forward, number 8, Tommy May. A junior forward, number 9, Max Guo. A junior forward, number 10, Jace Gungadarin. A senior forward, number 11, Seth Walpowitz. A senior forward and captain, number 12, Henry Ames. A junior forward and captain, number 13, Grady Ames. A sophomore forward, number 15, Aton Kat. A junior forward, number 16, Alex Lynn. A freshman defenseman, number 17, Jamison Young. A junior defenseman, number 18, Thomas O'Brien. A junior defenseman, number 19, Ryan Wilson. A sophomore forward, number 21, Owen Lacey. A junior defenseman, number 23, Dylan Katz. A junior goalie, number 30, Jack O'Connor. And a sophomore goalie wearing either number 31 or number 1, Craig Haas. Head coach of the Brookline High boys hockey team is Anthony Sarno. So those are the rosters for the two teams coming in today. At a very critical juncture, we're about midway through this regular season. The Spartans of St. Mary's come in with a strong 7-4 overall record. They were ranked 13th in the most recent Division I power rankings that came out on Tuesday morning. But St. Mary's has been in a bit of a skid as of late. They started out the season 6-1. Since then, they've gone 1-3. But that one victory they've had in that stretch was against Bishop-Feehan on January 6th. And Brookline fans will remember Bishop-Feehan as the team that defeated them in overtime in the Junior Beanpot Tournament Finals. Brookline, meanwhile, stands at a record of 3-5-2. They were moved up 4 spots in the most recent power rankings that came out on Tuesday. They are now 33rd in Division I, still on the outside looking in for a potential playoff spot. They need to either finish in the top 32 of the power rankings or finish with a 500 or better record if they want to secure a spot in the state tournament. So it's Spartans versus Warriors, Brookline versus St. Mary's here at Walter Brown Arena. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and you are watching Brookline High Hockey.
Brady Abe, racing back the other way. Abe starts! Fighting for it now, pass through, and Visnicki somehow stopped by O'Connor. How on earth? Cat behind the boards and a shot, score! The man, the myth, the legend, the Hank Ames! Pass it back to Young. Young winds, fires, deflected, up in the air, knocks in! Connor Erdman ties it up!
All right, the pregame clock about to run out here, and soon we'll get starting lineups, national anthem, and then the opening puck drop here in the first period of today's game. We got our first note in the live chat from one of our regulars, Marlene Lyons. Go Dylan Katz, number 23, here again from Michigan. Always happy to see you tuning in, Marlene. Like I said, anyone who wants to leave any notes in the live chat, I encourage you to do so. But if you're not as comfortable, using, YouTube's interface to send a message, you can also send me an email at the address that you can find by looking at the bottom right corner of your screen. First starter for St. Mary's, number 2, Michael Baldasser. Next up is number 77, Caleb Baracki. Next up is number 12, Jack DeLelio. And then number 24, Finn Racky. And number 22, Stephen Nason. And in goal, number 31, Brady Baldasser. So we got 2 Rackies and 2 Baldassers in the starting lineup for St. Mary's today. First starter for Brookline, number 4, Noah Gurdon. Next, number 17, Jamison Young. Number 7, Connor Erdman. Number 21, Owen Lacey. And number 13, Grady Ames. And starting in net for Brookline, number 1, Craig Haas. And now the national anthem. All right, that was our national anthem and the starting lineups. Interesting note for Brookline, giving the start between the pipes to Craig Haas. Jack O'Connor had been the starter for a while, got a long-term job as the starting goalie off the back of a very strong outing, a career outing really, against a strong Wellesley team where he produced 50-plus saves in one overtime game. Craig Haas kind of sat on the bench for a while Coach Sarno ran with the hot hand. But then Brookline had a very tough third period against Burlington on Monday, giving up 3 third-period goals to lose 5-2. So Coach Sarno looking at his other goalie, who has gotten some starts earlier in the year, but I think this might be his first start of 2024. Here we go, first period, Brookline versus St. Mary's. The puck has been dropped. Off the face-off, it's pushed back to Noah Gurdon. He tries to clear it out of his own end, but is blocked. Good forward pressure from St. Mary's. Trying to come around the back was number 24, Finn Racky. Now a scrum along the boards. Around the corner. Jamison Young whiffed on it there, and it's taken by St. Mary's. Long pass back. Shot blocked by the skates of Connor Erdman. Recovered by Noah Gurdon. That attempted shot coming from Caleb Racky, number 77, as that bounced off the back and is cleared out by Jamison Young. Does slide out to the neutral zone where it's taken by number 2, Michael Baldasser. Gives to Caleb Racky. Racky lifts it high, goes off the hand of Young. Being chased down in the corner and fending off Young to take the puck was number 15, Nick Thornton. Now pinned to the boards. Around the back comes number 5, Aiden Fitzpatrick. Pass back to the blue line, long shot redirected off the post. Big chance for St. Mary's, but couldn't quite capitalize. Another long shot saved by Haas, and it's knocked not loose. He did cover it up. That long shot coming from number 17, the captain, Jaden Driscoll. We'll have a Brookline end face-off. Off the face-off, corralled a long pass, deflected, but an attempted backhand shot deflected wide on the attempted shot by number 8, Mark Hilton. Pass back, number 6 weaving around, lost the puck, knocked loose by Brookline, but then kept on the attack by Driscoll. Pass gets down to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick, long pass, working it around. Driscoll over to Hilton, long push into the corner, and Thomas O'Brien trying to clear, gets it up to Henry Ames, who passes up to an open Aton Cat. Cat across the blue line, pinned to the boards by Hilton, and Driscoll tries to clear. It's blocked by Dylan Katz briefly, but it is going to be cleared out by number 6, Cam McGonigal. Gurdon takes the puck, slides it across to Katz. Long pass misses, attempted for Greg Aptekman. Now that pass intercepted by Seth Walpowitz, and now it's knocked to the near side. It's going to be pushed forward. Scrum for the puck. It's pushed into the corner by number 18, Chase Collins. Gurdon trying to clear, but Collins says no. Tries to come around the back, but lost the puck. Now it's a battle, and it's taken by Katz. Katz off the boards to Aptekman. Gets it off the boards, but knocked back by Evan Toto. Now Katz recovers. Katz skating through himself into the neutral zone. Still skating through. It's a 4-on-2. Long shot is saved by Baldasser. A long lift up for a streaking Collins. Off to the races, approaching. Shot missed it high. A juicy rebound, but they couldn't connect. And now a shot turned aside by Haas. That one came from number 10, Joey Calder. Long pass for Brookline is going to be blocked by Baldasser and covered up to prevent a streaking Grady Ames from going on the attack. A fast counterattack by the Spartans after what appeared to be a good approach by Katz. He went for the eager shot, and then it was lifted high to find Collins behind the defense for a big breakaway chance, just missed. Another long pass, this one a bit out of reach, but racing after it, and it's pushed aside by Haas as number 12, Jack DeLelio, was chasing after it. Around the back, it is taken by Finn Racky. Racky passes it back, finds a man, long insert, deflects off the body, and misses the net. Around the boards, Erdman couldn't track it down. Caleb Racky sends it off the boards. Another player sends it off the boards. Recovered pass, deflected at the last second by Gurdon. Reinserted by number 2, Michael Baldasser. Gurdon tries to clear, it's blocked. Gurdon checks a man into the boards. It's wrapped around by Jamison Young, blocked by Baldasser again. Long shot, saved by Haas. Young backhands it off the boards to Erdman. Erdman skating through the neutral zone, 3-on-3, gains the blue and dumps it in, turned aside by the goalie Baldasser. Michael Baldasser picks it up after the save by Brady Baldasser. Attempted clear is going to be recovered pass. Katz shot just wide, well defended by Caleb Racky. Henry Ames has it in the corner. Scrumming for it, gets a pass out to Cat. Cat approaching, backhander missed wide. Caleb Racky pins Ames to the boards, but Max Guo keeps up the forward pressure. Now it's pinned to the corner, and it's knocked loose, taken by Michael Baldasser. Wraps around to number 22, Stephen Nason, and stolen back by Henry Ames. Pass to Cat. Cat a chance, shot missed, high and wide. Rebound being fought for and recovered by by St. Mary's of Lynn, excuse me. Off the glass, it is taken by Thornton, dumped into the Brookline end. Thomas O'Brien tries to clear, pinned to the boards by McGonigal, and it's recovered by Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick skating, finds a bit of a hole, but gets triple teamed. His glove manages to push it loose, and now we got a penalty. I think this might go against Owen Lacey. His stick got into Fitzpatrick's face. A bit tough. Fitzpatrick was down on the ice, but, you know, got to be more aware of your surroundings. As I think someone's going to the box. I'm not sure who. It appears to be Grady Ames. I thought that was going to be on Lacey. I thought they got Lacey on a high stick, but instead it's against Grady Ames. I'm not sure what for. Was away from the puck, but it's going to be a 2-minute minor for the game's first power play. Fitzpatrick passes it down to number 7, Maddox Jacobson. He gets pinned to the boards by Gurdon. And it does get out to the neutral zone. I didn't quite hear the PA announcer say what the penalty call was. Can be a bit tough with the acoustics here at Walter Brown. Fitzpatrick skating with it, gets a pass up to Jacobson. Jacobson skates towards the corner, comes around the back. Now sets for the play, pass down low, shot saved by Haas. Number 27, Michael Nerich, got that one right in the crease. Almost looked like he was a post player in basketball backing down a defender. I think he was trying to go for a pass there, but it just ended up being a shot. Off the face-off. Brookline trying to clear, but Erdman kind of whiffs. Now backhands it out to the neutral zone. Taken by number 18, Chase Collins. Gives it over to McGonigal. McGonigal skating through the neutral zone, gains the blue, gets around the defense. Coming around the back, pass through, shot blocked by the defense. I think it was Gurdon who blocked that one. Taken at the blue line now by Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick, pass through, misses. Collins just barely as he chased it down in the corner and wraps it around the boards. Jacobson down to 27, pass deflected by Haas off the stick of Nerich, that attempted pass. Fitzpatrick fights through the defense, approaching, gets around another. Now looking for somewhere to go, gets passed through, and it's knocked in. Michael Nerich with a power play goal, and St. Mary's is on the board. Once again, he was like a center in basketball, fighting down low in the post, or if you want more of a hockey reference, he's, you know, sort of like a Jake DeBrusk type of player, crowding around the net, waiting for either a pass to come his way or a potential deflection. And Aiden Fitzpatrick, despite almost losing control of the puck there, managed to get a nice pass through as St. Mary's called for offsides there. But they do take the 1-0 lead. Goals scored by Michael Nerich, assisted by Aiden Fitzpatrick on the power play. And we got a whistle Off the face-off as they reset. Off the face-off, it's controlled by Young. Young dumps it into the St. Mary's end. It's blocked by Brady Baldessare, bouncing along, and eventually someone took it and cleared out to the neutral zone. That was Finn Racky. Chasing after it now is Katz. Katz sends it off the boards. It's taken by Caleb Racky. Pass up into traffic, knocked and taken by Young, who sends it up the line. It's chased down by Caleb Racky. Racky comes around the back as Brookline makes a line change. Long pass up, finds Finn Racky, sends it off the boards, collected almost by Nason. And instead, Katz skating out with it. Katz gets pass up to Cat. Cat gains the blue line all by himself as Brookline makes a line change. And in the corner, couldn't keep with it. It's taken away by the Spartans. Pass up to Fitzpatrick. Long pass across, misses Thornton. And it's going to be taken by Gurdon. Gurdon skating with Thornton in pursuit. Spins off him. Long pass, finds a target. That was Cat, who gets pinned to the boards by McGonigal. McGonigal takes the puck. Pass deflected, but does get back. And is whipped around the boards by Driscoll. Now Fitzpatrick recovers it around the back. Looking for a pass. Tried to lift it, but gets stood up by Gurdon. The shot from McGonigal goes wide, recovered by Driscoll. Driscoll coming around the back. Quick passing. Deflected by Henry Ames into the neutral zone. And we've got a delayed penalty call. This one is going to go against the Spartans. And that's going to go against Aiden Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick, who almost had the trick goal as he was trying to carry the puck on his stick in the air, try and see if he could sneak it past Haas, but Gurdon was having none of it. And now Fitzpatrick will serve the 2-minute minor. Brookline with a chance to get a power play goal of their own. Off the face-off, it's back to Gurdon, now down to Grady Ames. Shot deflected high off the stick of the defender number 4, Alex Chason. Pass down to Henry Ames. Ames wraps it around the boards. And wrapped further around the boards by St. Mary's. Now back around. Chason trying to clear. Gurdon blocks it, sends it off the boards. Brookline having a little trouble getting organized. And now it's ripped away. But the clear blocked again by Erdman. They keep trying to wrap it around the corner, and it's just not there. Finn Racky tries to clear. And now off the deflection, it is cleared by Evan Toto. Minute 20 left on the penalty as Gurdon takes it from behind the net. Gurdon starts to skate with it. Pass. Juggled but collected and lifted by Thomas O'Brien, but it's taken by Caleb Racky. Easy clear. Goes up to Finn Racky. And Finn Racky takes a hard check into the boards from Gurdon. And now Gurdon is going to go into the box and make it a 4-on-4. So Brookline gets about a minute of a power play. Or no, they didn't call a penalty. I thought with the ref's hand up it was a penalty, but in fact it was an offsides against St. Mary's. Off the face-off, it is collected. Finn Racky approaching, shot high. Racky chasing after it again. Pinned to the boards as the defense sagging back. So racing up and taking it is Grady Ames. Gains the blue. Looking. Backhands it across to Katz. Katz sends it off the back. Back to Grady Ames. Sends it up to the point. Thomas O'Brien shot. Deflected in! Brookline ties it up with a power play goal of their own. Let's watch the replay. You can see at first Katz just a soft pass around off the backboard. And then Ames sends back to O'Brien. Quick shot deflected. I think that went off the defense, in which case that is a goal scored by Thomas O'Brien, assisted by Grady Ames and Dylan Katz. I'll await the official confirmation from the PA announcer, but one thing for sure, we are tied at 1 apiece. No icing here as there was a deflection. Gurdon racing in and taking it around the back. Wraps it around the boards, battling for it. Aptekman, pass to Herman. Herman looking to pass, blocked by Toto. Gets it into the St. Mary's end as it's passed across and taken now by Joey Calder. Couple passes misses, Toto, and Gurdon gonna chase it down. Gurdon. And the PA announcer just saying goal scored by... Okay, now he's saying the name Thomas O'Brien. So it was a goal for O'Brien. And it was assisted by Grady Ames and Dylan Katz. The PA announcer got it wrong, said it was assisted by Eitan Kat. Misread the numbers on the passer there. As this one covered up by Craig Haas just barely to keep it away from a streaking McGonigal. So 1-1 the score with 4:22 on the clock here in the first period. Both teams scoring on a power play goal. And off the face-off, McGonigal shot high and might have been deflected by the glove of Haas. Katz barely gets past Henry Ames, who sends it through the middle, cleared out by Max Guo, taken back by number 11, Jack Hall, who wraps it around the boards. And now a long shot saved by the pads of Haas. Brookline taking off on a rush. Henry Ames, double-teamed, keeps the puck somehow. It's knocked loose by Nerich and sent out to the far side. Hard collision between a pair of number 15s. As still scrumming for it, knocked loose by the skate of Ames, but then taken by McGonigal. McGonigal stood up on the boards, but somehow keeps the puck. Try to pass, a hard check into the boards, but Brookline takes the puck back. Whoa, racing with it. Long shot misses wide. The attempted clear deflected by Erdman. Now another clear knocked down by Gurdon. Still battling along the boards. Gurdon takes it, lifts it into the corner. And now Lacey coming in trying to take it away. Lacey gets a pass through. Grady Ames just barely blocked at the last second by number 19, Kalen Huddle. Shot saved by Baldasser. Sent around the boards and taken again by Thornton. Thornton's pass is disrupted by the defense, but does get down to the Brookline end. Wrapped around by Young. Taken by Erdman. Erdman lifts it, blocked by the hand of DeLelio. Now approaching is Nason. Well defended by Young. He stops, gives a pass down below. Couldn't be collected, but also couldn't be cleared. Nason takes it back. Pass. Gets to Finraki. Shot blocked aside by Gurdon. Off the boards. It's kept on the attack end by number 16, who is not on my roster, as it's now covered up by Haas. I've got my first pronunciation correction, courtesy of Liz Driscoll. It's not Michael Nerich, it's Michael Nerich. Thank you very much, Lynn. I appreciate the correction. Like I said, I want to get these kids' names right if I can. Off the face-off, O'Brien wraps it around the boards. Aptekman tries to clear, but it's blocked by Caleb Racky, but it does get out to the neutral zone. And it's stolen in the neutral zone by Aptekman, who launches it into the St. Mary's end. Caleb Racky now taking it out the back, skating with it with speed through the neutral zone, gets a pass up, approaching. A pass just misses Collins. Attempted pass from Calder. Now they get a pass to Calder. Calder looking pass back to Michael Baldser. Long insert knocked down by Katz. Scrumming for it, O'Brien and Collins. O'Brien wraps it around to Aptekman. Aptekman's pass misses Walpowitz, but does get out to the neutral zone. Michael Baldasser trying to take advantage of a Brookline line change, but cannot, as O'Brien manages to stop the advance, and Katz gets it out to the neutral zone. Toto skating with it. Across to Caleb Racky. Pass through to Collins. Collins loses it to a check from Katz. And O'Brien sends it up to Henry Ames, who has to recollect it in his own end. Give and go, goes back to Ames. He wasn't ready for it. O'Brien recollects it, shoots it up the line, No icing, as they say it was deflected. It's now wrapped around the boards, back out to the neutral zone. Ames whiffs on his push there, and it's taken now by number 11, Jack Hall. Hall sends a shot, turned aside by Haas, chased down by McGonigal. McGonigal sends it off the boards. 1 minute left in the period as Cat lifts it way down for an icing. .4 seconds left in the first period. 2 power play goals, one from St. Mary's, Michael Narek, and one from Brookline's Thomas O'Brien have got us a tie score so far. All goals from both sides coming from defensemen to this point. And we got a whistle just after the face-off, and I think this might be a penalty call. And it looks like it's going to be against St. Mary's. Things did get a little physical in the face-off circle after the face-off. I was following the puck, so I didn't quite see what happened, but they're calling a penalty on Nick Thornton. So Brookline going to have a bit of a segmented power play here. There's only 50.8 seconds on the clock, and it's a 2-minute minor. So unless Brookline scores in the last, before this period ends, they're going to start the second period on the power play. Face-off, won by Brookline, but Guo slipped and fell. The clear is unsuccessful as Henry Ames dumps it back into the corner. Another clear attempt, this time gets through all the way down to Haas. Haas wraps it around the boards to keep away from the forward pressure. He gets it to Henry Ames. Pass across to Grady Ames. Ames lifts it into the St. Mary's end. It's going to be chased down by Hilton. Hilton's attempted clear gets over the outstretched hand of Henry Ames, and it's going to be chased down in the Brookline end by Gurdon. Gurdon, long pass up to Grady Ames. Back to Gurdon. Gurdon gets checked into the boards, loses the puck, and Connor Erdman has to hustle and get back there to take it back. Wraps it around for Gurdon, being chased by the forward pressure from Nason. Now a long pass just misses Henry Ames, and that is how the period is going to end. At the end of one, our score, Brookline 1, St. Mary's 1. Brookline will have 1 minute and 10 seconds left on a power play when we come back for the start of the second period. St. Mary's was first on the board off a power play goal scored by Michael Narek, assisted by Aiden Fitzpatrick. And then Brookline answered on a power play goal of their own, on a goal by Thomas O'Brien, assisted by Grady Ames and Dylan Katz. We got some more notes in the live chat from Ironman Goat 99, let's go Brookline. And another from Marlene Lyons, nice Warriors, keep it going, nice Cats. But for now, we are 1 period in, and we're all tied at 1. From Walter Brown Arena, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I'm going to take a break and mute the mic, but I'll be back with the second period. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. Here bringing you the second period of today's high school varsity boys hockey contest between the Brookline High Warriors and the St. Mary's High Spartans. It's a 1-1 score after one, each team scoring a power play goal in the first period. St. Mary's scoring first on a goal by Michael Narek, assisted by Aiden Fitzpatrick, while Brookline got the equalizer off a goal from Thomas O'Brien, assisted by Grady Ames and Dylan Katz. And we've got a pronunciation correction from a helpful St. Mary's fan, this coming from Jill Avery. And it's apparently the last name. I've been saying Baldasare for numbers 2 and 31 for St. Mary's, Michael and Brady. But according to this note from Jill Avery, they are pronounced with an E at the end, so Baldasare. If I'm saying that right, if it's supposed to be something like Baldasari, let me know. You know, feel free to send me another note either on the live chat or an email. But for now, I'll be saying Baldasari to refer to the last name of both of them. And then number 12, I've been saying Jack DeLelio, but apparently it's Jack DeLeo. So the E in the name is silent. So thank you very much for the correction, Jill. And if any other St. Mary's fans notice me absolutely botching any names, again, you know, I'm not a proud man. I don't mind being told that I'm wrong. You know, if it allows me to give better coverage to these kids, I'm all for it. Especially when they're putting on a show like they've been putting on so far today. A close game on the scoreboard, but advantage to St. Mary's in terms of the possession game. You can see the shot count on the scoreboard in the bottom left corner of your screen, 10-4 in favor of St. Mary's in that first period. But now as we start the second, Brookline is starting with 1 minute and 10 seconds of power play following a penalty committed by number 15, Nick Thornton, in the last minute of the first period. So Brookline trying to make an approach, but that pass blocked and stolen away. This is Driscoll. Pass was blocked by Henry Ames, and now Brookline trying to skate on the counter. Pass knocked down by Connor Erdman across the blue line. Long pass whipped across, missed his man, and it's knocked back the other way by Mark Hilton Jr., who dives to hit that one away from the Brookline player and further kill clock. It is taken now by Grady Ames. Just 25 seconds now left on the power play, and Brookline has scarcely broken the blue line to start this period. Noah Gurdon carries it across, but it's immediately cleared out by Evan Toto. This is the tough thing when you get these segmented power plays. It can be hard to recapture that momentum off a center ice faceoff as another pass just missed for Brookline. Their passes have not been looking good. Shorthanded shot, saved by Haas. Second chance shot, barely saved by Haas. Two big chances as we're back at even strength, and the best shots and the only shots came from St. Mary's. Thornton coming out of the box gets sandwiched by a pair of Brookline defenders, including Dylan Katz, as Brookline now takes the puck back off the force from Greg Eptekman. Eitan Kat carries it across the blue line, but again taken immediately by number 4, Alex Chason. Now Katz wraps it around the boards. Eptekman scrapping for it along the boards, knocked loose. Kept in the attack end. Eptekman tangled up with Narek. And now Aiden Fitzpatrick taking it around the back. Fitzpatrick through the neutral zone with speed, gains the blue, got a man on his right, passes to Thornton. Thornton shot blocked by O'Brien. Puck knocked loose, recovered by Kat. Kat gets a pass away to Lacey, who dumps it barely into the St. Mary's end. Where'd the puck go? Went over the benches. Brookline was trying to make a line change as Lacey was trying to dump it in, but it got blocked by the body of Michael Baldasari. And he tried to start a counter play to take advantage of Brookline's confusion in the middle of the change, but instead it ends up going over the benches. Off the face-off, it's lifted out to the neutral zone by St. Mary's, and now it's going to be collected by Joey Calder. Shot saved by Haas. Juicy rebound chance, but Baldessari could not get a stick on it. Now Toto coming around the back. Toto looking for a pass, disrupted by Gurdon. Puck lost in the corner. Chase Collins gets past to Toto, knocked loose, back to Baldessari. Now taken by Grady Ames, wrapped around the boards, gets to Lacey. Lacey lifts it through to the neutral zone, gets to Erdman. Erdman gets quadruple teamed and loses the puck, taken by Calder. Calder approaching, shot blocked by Gurdon. Now taken by Collins. Collins approaching, couldn't jam it past Haas, and no one there to send in the rebound. Grady Ames skating it the other way. Ames picking up speed, dumps it into the St. Mary's end as Brookline commits to a line change. Hilton skating it back the other way for the Spartans. Gains the blue line himself. Weaves around one, approaching pass, just misses. Calder, who would have had a great look. Instead, it's going to be chased down by Driscoll. Driscoll couldn't get a pass away. Cat sends it to the corner. His pass now blocked by Collins, recovered by Finn Racky, stolen away by Max Guo. Couldn't get a shot off. Taken by Hilton. Hilton through the neutral zone, across the blue line, but it's taken by Katz. Katz wraps it around. Now Young sends it further along. Driscoll takes it, pass across to Finn Racky. His pass blocked by Guo. Racky recovers, clears it all the way out to the Brookline end. No icing as it's taken by Katz to O'Brien and back to Katz. Katz, long pass, goes off the stick of Guo, so no icing, but he could not corral it. Narek sends it off the back to Chason. Chason's pass intercepted. Lacey shot save. Juicy rebound, but Erdman couldn't get a stick on it. We're going to have a delayed penalty against St. Mary's. I think they're going to call St. Mary's for going high on the check, or whatever the penalty is called, it's against Michael Narek. So Narek will serve the 2-minute minor. Brookline almost had a great chance there off the interception by Owen Lacey, but they will have a power play chance. Guo, a shot blocked up in the skates. Now Grady Ames, a shot is in! Grady Ames! The first shot got caught up in the skates, but then Grady Ames said, oh, look, what's this here? It's the puck. And then just shot it as it rolled around the post. Almost like a basketball rolling around the rim. What a pretty shot from Grady Ames as he scores, assisted by Max Guo. Grady Ames now with a goal and an assist for, I think, the third straight game, at least the second straight game. St. Mary's wasting no time as McGonigal took the face-off. Now passed back to Fitzpatrick, further back to number 16, up to Fitzpatrick across to McGonigal. Shot turned wide. Rebound shot as had a golden chance there as Haas wasn't looking, but it was deflected by a defenseman. Now weaving out and approaching, a shot deflects off the face of Haas. Recovered, coming around the back. They could not jam it in. Disrupted just barely by Ryan Wilson. Out on the ice after missing a chunk of the season due to injury, and Brookline was certainly glad to see him on that play. And once again, I think the PA announcer might have gotten the assist wrong. He's crediting it to Connor Erdman. I'll double check the replay and see if maybe he deflected it as it got, after Guo's shot got caught up in the skates. But a shot just whiffed by Caleb Racky. He had a golden chance there. No time to think. Got to stay with the action. Calder looking around, weaves around, shot turned aside by Haas and disrupted by the defense. Brookline takes the puck, trying to skate out with it. Blocked by Toto. Taken back by the Spartans, but an offsides. Toto couldn't keep his skate back on the blue line as Collins was trying to bring it on the attack. And we'll have a neutral zone face-off. So another power play goal. All 3 goals today from both teams have been scored on the advantage. And now another face-off pushed into the Brookline end. And it's recovered. Shot is saved by Haas off the shot from Finn Racky. Off the face-off, Racky pass, one-timer saved by Haas. That came off the stick of Dalio. Now pinned to the boards, Dalio tried to take it, but instead it's recovered by Chason, sends it across the crease, nobody there. Narek sends a shot wide. Recovered by Chason, shot wide. Around the boards and taken by Cat. Cat through to the neutral zone. As he was falling, got a pass up to Henry Ames. Ames pinned to the boards. Got tangled up with Chason, and now kept on the attack by Young. Chased down by Narek. Narek coming around the back, pursued by Guo. Tangled up. Guo lost the stick, and Ames intercepted the pass, but couldn't get his own pass off. Taken back by Narek. Narek gets tripped, but no call as it's taken by Guo. Guo sends it off the boards. Chason trying to get it back, got tangled up with Finn Racky. Now it's up against the boards. Coming out with it is Nason. Nason, pass. Now Narek sends it up, deflects off a skate, so no icing. It's going to be chased down by Dalio. Dalio pinned to the boards by Gurdon. Gurdon keeping him pinned there as the reinforcements come. And Grady Ames tries to come out with it, but the reinforcements did come. It's McGonigal, backhand pass. Sent it through to the slot, but nobody could get a stick on it. Lifted out by Brookline, intercepted by Driscoll. Pass gets to Dalio, now up to Thornton. Thornton up to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick approaching, shot saved by Haas and cleared out by Gurdon. Erdman sends it around the back, but it's going to be taken by Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick pinned to the boards by Young. Puck knocked loose and kept on the attack by the Spartans. Hilton, pass down to Fitzpatrick. Couldn't get a pass off, and Young sends it off the boards, but it's taken again by Hilton. Long shot over the bar, just barely. And now it's up against the back of the net. And so they rule it a dead puck. We got some more notes in the live chat from Wally Lawrence. Up the Ames. Referring, of course, to the scorer of the go-ahead goal, Grady Ames, one of Wally Lawrence's soccer teammates in the fall. Off the face-off, McGonigal launches it wide. Around it goes Thornton. Fitzpatrick along the back, sends pass through, shot caught up in the skates, couldn't get through. Off the rebound, it's taken by Grady Ames, skating the other way, gains the blue line, gets double teamed and loses the puck, and it's taken back by Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick on the rush, gains the blue line, skating around, comes around the back, turns around, shot off a skate and off the side of the net. Now a pass from Thornton, could not find a target. Now stolen back, a shot by Driscoll, saved by Haas. A little chippiness after the play as that got very close to the Brookline goalie. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Most of the time I think plays like that, there's not necessarily malice, but it's just an instinct of a hockey player that you've got to protect the goalie. It's the most defenseless player on the ice and arguably the most valuable player on the ice. You got to protect that guy regardless of whether the team was, of whether your opponent was playing dirty or not. But there is a penalty that's going to go against St. Mary's against Cam McGonigal. I didn't see him skating to the box, but they do call a penalty on McGonigal as there appears to be a stoppage as the officials are explaining the penalty to the St. Mary's coach, Matthew Smith Sr. And that's a tough break for St. Mary's. As I've said before, all the goals today have come on the power play. And while St. Mary's was very impressive killing the penalty to start the period, we'll see what they can do here. More notes in the live chat from a Brookline player who couldn't be here today, Jace Gungarin. The boys are buzzing. Let's go. Happy to see you able to cheer on your teammates here, Jace. Cleared out immediately by St. Mary's as the power play begins, and Haas is forced to cover it up as Finn Racky was bringing the forward pressure. They called McGonigal for slashing, according to the PA announcer. Face off, knocked into the corner. Gurdon sends it around, gets it to Henry Ames. Ames sends it back behind the net to Gurdon as Brookline gets set. Gurdon pass up to Henry Ames. Across, lost off the skate of Grady Ames, and he has to chase it back down in his own end. Pass around the back to Gurdon as Brookline is going to try again. Pass up to Henry Ames, almost lost in the skates again, but he does recover it. Long pass up to Erdman. Erdman manages to push forward to Max Guo, gains the blue. Pass to Gurdon. Gurdon disrupted by Nason, but it's recovered by Erdman. Pass down to Gurdon in the corner. Gurdon escapes his defender. Pass to Erdman. Erdman recovers the puck and scores! The power play magic continues with a goal by Connor Erdman. You can see it went down to the corner. Gurdon just barely escaped his defender. Gets a pass to Erdman, who almost lost his balance, but managed to regain it quickly enough and just whipped that shot to the far post to register Brookline's third goal. And the Warriors now with a 2-goal lead, despite being outshot 18-7. It is a 3-1 Warriors lead off the goal from Erdman, assisted by Gurdon. Now Fitzpatrick approaching fast. His shot blocked by O'Brien. Fitzpatrick recovers, pass back, gets to Narek. Narek lifts it to the corner, but it's kicked back by Brookline. Brookline's going to clear this one out. Cat pass intercepted by Chason. And now it back into the Brookline end, and Brookline clears it out. No icing. Chased down by Narek. Narek pass misses Chason, but gets up to Thornton. Thornton being disrupted. Brookline keeping it in the St. Mary's end. Narek escapes the pin to the boards. Now it's caught up in the boards. 5 players in the scrum. McGonigal comes out with it, passes it up to Thornton. Thornton on a 3-on-2 rush. Shot saved by Haas. Juicy rebound. Fitzpatrick saved by Haas. Fitzpatrick wound up and fired the cannon, but it was stopped by Haas. And we've got a whistle for an injured player. Oh no. Oh no. We got a St. Mary's player down on the ice, and that's Michael Narek. Oh, man. I don't care who you're rooting for. You don't want to see this. Oh, geez. He's being helped off the ice. Honestly, they might want to send him over to the trainer on the other side. He looks like he's hurting there. That is a tough player to lose for St. Mary's. His size and his strength is a big asset for them as a blue liner. And it was a big asset for him on St. Mary's lone goal so far today on that power play goal, as he was able to fend off a defender while standing in front of the net and score off the pass from Fitzpatrick. So hopefully he is okay. Hopefully that's nothing serious. Like I said, doesn't matter who you're rooting for. You don't root for injury. So after that stoppage, St. Mary's fighting to keep it in the Brookline end, but it is taken now by the Warriors. Gurdon, pass up the line. Erdman moves it further along, but it's taken now by Hilton. Hilton sends it off the boards, gets it up to number 87, Aiden Goodwin, and Goodwin's pass gets up to Calder. Calder disrupted, stolen away by Grady Ames, who dumps it into the St. Mary's end as Brookline commits to a line change. Connor Erdman applying some forward pressure, knocking the puck loose a couple of times, losing his stick, and still getting the puck somehow. He gets to Henry Ames, pass blocked, and puck knocked loose by Driscoll. Now skating out with it is Goodwin. Goodwin dumps it into the Brookline end as St. Mary's makes a line change. Gurdon recovers it around the back, trying to spin off Collins. Pass disrupted, but Erdman still collects it. Pass gets across to Henry Ames. Long shot is blocked by Baldessari. Recovered now by Michael Baldessari. Pass across to Caleb Racky, up to Chase Collins, left back. Approaching, lost control of it. Nason tried to push it through, but could not. Now coming around the back. Pass just misses off the skate of Dalio. Dalio's pass blocked by O'Brien, sends it off the boards. Caleb Racky blocks it, keeps it on the attack. Dalio sends a pass down to Nason. Nason from the corner, pass back to Caleb Racky. Looking, pass deflected into the corner. It's being fought for, or not fought for. Nobody was there for it. Sent off the boards by O'Brien. Barely slides out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Guo. Guo 1-on-2 across the blue line. Shot is wide as Brookline commits a line change. Dalio sends a long pass up to Finn Racky. Racky approaching, gets around the defense, gets around again. Shot saved by Haas. Now taken by Dalio. Dalio sends a pass back. Shot, almost an own goal off of the arm of Noah Gurdon as another penalty is called. It looks like this one is going to go against Brookline. And going into the box, I think is, yes, it's Jamison Young who will be going to the box. And I mean, we've seen how dangerous the power play units have been for both teams today. All 4 goals scored on the power play so far today. And now it's the Spartans on the advantage. Pass goes over to Collins. Pass through. Almost a huge chance for Maddox Jacobson, but it went off his skate instead of in the right position for a one-timer. Pass, McGonigal whiffs on the one-timer. Jacobson recovers, gives to Fitzpatrick at the point. Now slides it across to McGonigal. Approaching shot, save Haas. Put back save by Haas. And that shot off the side of the net. Fitzpatrick controlling it from behind. Skating slowly. Now sends it across to McGonigal. McGonigal back to the point to Fitzpatrick. Now across. Shot deflects wide. They keep it on the attack, but lose it. Grady Ames taking it the other way and dumps it into the Spartans' end as Brookline commits to a forward line change. Skating with it now is Fitzpatrick, excuse me. Leaves it back for McGonigal. McGonigal gains the blue line. McGonigal in the corner. Coming around the back. Looking. Pass goes off a skate. But Fitzpatrick recovers and keeps it on the attack. Sends it around back to Collins. Collins looking, pass through, just missed. Again, went off a skate instead of a stick and couldn't turn into a shot. Shot Fitzpatrick deflects off a defender and goes to Guo. Guo, pass up. Henry Ames rushing with it and just lifts it backhanded. Blocked by Brady Baldessari. Around the boards, it's blocked by O'Brien. O'Brien wraps it around. Fitzpatrick takes it. 15 seconds left on the penalty. Fitzpatrick skating, gains the blue, approaching, stood up, recovered. Thornton just lost control of the puck. 1 minute left in the period. Pass goes back to Fitzpatrick off the skate of a defender. Brookline's got an open chance. Grady Ames, 1-on-1, 2-on-1, but it's deflected away by Caleb Racky. Big stop there from number 77. Going the other way, the Spartans. Thornton skating through the defense. Approaching, shot, or not shot, pass through the slot, but nobody there for the shot. Finn Racky, back to Caleb Racky. Caleb Racky tried to get a pass away. It's stolen by Grady Ames, pushed into open ice. Ames going to take it himself, and they couldn't time it across the blue line. Erdman crossed before the puck, and they call offsides. 28.3 seconds left here in the second period. Face off, controlled by Brookline just barely, and now fighting back and forth through the neutral zone. Henry Ames comes away with the puck, tried to push it forward, but it's taken by Finn Racky. Sends it back to Hilton. Hilton's pass deflects off Dalio and is taken. Nason approaching, shot, missed just wide. He did get it past Haas, but just a little wide of the net. Dalio recovers, passes it back to Hilton. Hilton dumps it into the Brookline end, turned aside by Haas, and that will end the second period. And with a shot difference of 22-8, and I think possibly 23-8, depending on if they count that last Hail Mary shot by Hilton. With that shot difference, would you believe the team with 8 shots is leading by multiple scores? 3-1, the Brookline advantage at the end of 2. The Warriors scoring twice on the power play. We had one score from Grady Ames, and then another score from Connor Erdman on this play here, assisted by Noah Gurdon. And that is 2 periods gone here in the second intermission. And just to catch up on the live chat a little bit, Marlene Lyons with a couple more notes. Great playing, Brookline. So exciting watching the Warriors today. And from Steve Sheridan earlier in the period, just tuned in and saw Grady Ames score and the Brookline goalie looking great. Happy to see you tuning in again, Steve, and I couldn't agree more. The Ames brothers continue to be an offensive force for the Warriors. And how about Craig Haas, his first start between the pipes in a good bit, his first one since the change of the calendar, if I'm not mistaken. And he's turning in quite a performance, 21 saves through the first 2 periods, keeping his team in the lead. And his play in net seems to be getting better and better with each period. Another note from Steve Sheridan just now. Nice period for Brookline. Just one more to go. Keep it up, Warriors. And then on another note, how about Ryan Wilson returning to the ice? I do believe this is his first game back, as I think he suffered, I want to say, a wrist injury that's kept him out for most of this season up to this point. Happy to see him back out there for Brookline. But now at this second intermission, I'd like to take a moment to direct your attention to some helpful links in the description section of this video. First, a link to the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club, where you can donate to help support the program. Their official Venmo account, the link is there in the description. So be sure to check that out. And then below that, links and phone numbers for our local charity Spotlight, the Brookline Community Foundation, which I'm going to tell you about right now. For over 100 years, the Brookline Community Foundation has been a trusted partner, supporting Brookline by investing in organizations and initiatives that help create opportunity and promote equity for everyone who lives, learns, works, and plays in our community. Among the foundation's many grant programs is the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School, which provides graduating BHS students with scholarships to help fund post-secondary education. To date, thanks to the generosity of over 140 donors, BCF has raised over $1.4 million in scholarship funding as they approach their 10th anniversary here in 2024. Last year in 2023, BCF awarded over $180,000 to Brookline High School for scholarships. Your support is crucial to supporting Brookline youth as they embark on the next steps in their educational journeys. Visit brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442 to learn more about the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School and how you can make a difference right here in Brookline. Once again, brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442. And again, all that helpful information down in the description section down below. Brookline 3, St. Mary's 1 here at the second intermission. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan from Walter Brown Arena. I'm going to take a break and mute the mic, but I'll be back for the third and final period. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you the third and final period of today's high school varsity boys hockey contest between the Brookline High Warriors and the St. Mary's Spartans. St. Mary's with a 22-8 advantage on shot count, but Brookline making their shots count just a little more as they hold a 3-1 lead going into the final period that begins right now. Here we go. Off the face-off, it's controlled by Noah Gurdon, dumped into the St. Mary's end just barely, but then knocked right back out to the neutral zone. Gurdon recovers it in his own end, lifts it out to the neutral zone. It's downed and controlled. Cam McGonigal dumps it into the Brookline end. Around the back, Gurdon takes it, deflects, and a couple players collide, and they can't get an attack off that. Wrapped around the boards by Grady Ames. A shot missed wide off the stick of Driscoll. McGonigal recovers. Shot goes off a teammate's skate. It's ultimately recovered by Thornton as he whips it into the corner. After a pin to the boards, it is blocked on the clear by Driscoll. Now a puck dangling out, pass from Driscoll across to Hilton, just barely kept on the attack end. The shot saved by Craig Haas. We've got another injured player down. This time it's a Brookline player. We saw Michael Narek go down hurt for St. Mary's in the second period. And that was so tough to see, although Narek is now out there skating off the bench. So he's back, and that's good news. But we got a new player down, and that's bad news. I can't quite tell who it is as the kid is still lying on the ice. You know, like I said before, no matter who you're rooting for, you never want to see a kid get hurt while playing these games. It is number 21, Owen Lacey. Slow to get up. And he's going to require some help from a teammate, it looks like. This is tough to see, but, you know, like I said, Michael Narek, number 27 for St. Mary's, he needed to be helped coming off the ice when he went down in the second period. That looks like it might have been something scary, but now he is back out on the ice and looks fine. So, you know, these injuries, they can be things where it's just really, really painful in the moment, and you don't quite have the strength in that moment to skate off on your own. But then later you're able to come back okay. It is possible, but for now, Owen Lacey being helped off the ice by his teammates. He's going to go get checked out, and hopefully he is okay. In the meantime, we'll have a Brookline end face-off off of that injury stoppage. Off the face-off. It's kept in the attack end by the Spartans, but recovered by Gurdon. Gurdon coming around the back. Pass. Slides out to the neutral zone. Knocked back by Alex Chason. Now taken again by Gurdon. Gurdon gains the blue line himself. Gets past Narek, shot, misses wide, wraps around the boards, but is kept in by Jamison Young, who launches a long shot, which is caught by Brady Baldessari. Good reach by Jamison Young to prevent the puck from sliding out to the neutral zone and even getting a nice shot off. Off the face-off, Dylan Katz launches it well wide into the corner. Now Thomas O'Brien's shot blocked. O'Brien, with combined efforts from Grady Ames, keep it in the St. Mary's end. Caleb Racky recovers it around the back, looking for somewhere to go. Almost lost control of the puck. Now sends it off the boards. Katz keeps it on the attack. Around the back, Grady Ames fighting for it, could not corral it. Aiden Fitzpatrick weaves off of one forward. Long pass up, finds Nick Thornton. Thornton skating with it. Pass up for Cam McGonigal. McGonigal pass goes off the skate of Katz, and that second pass goes through the slot, but nobody there. Shot from Michael Baldessari, missed or saved by Haas, and then Haas kicked that second pass off the rebound and covers it up. What a day for Craig Haas. His first start of 2024 after Jack O'Connor had that career day against Wellesley and was just stuck with as the hot hand. Now Haas getting a chance to show what he can do. Pass gets through, but Hilton couldn't corral it. Pass through the crease, missed. Collins recovers, sends it down below. Pass back, shot is in! That was Evan Toto off the assist from Joey Calder. Beautiful puck movement from the Spartans. And it is now a one-goal game with just under 13 minutes still to play. Off the face-off, it's back to Hilton. 3-2 now the score. Brookline still leading, but the lead is just one as Noah Gurdon checks Hilton hard into the boards. It's recovered by Calder. Calder spins off his defender, whips a pass off the boards, and that pass from Driscoll is whiffed, and it's taken by Henry Ames. Going back the other way, had to weave around Collins, and he just dumps it in as it's taken now by Hilton. Hilton tries to clear, blocked by Gurdon. Sent back around the boards. Brookline commits to a line change. Collins sends it along the back to Hilton. Back to Collins. Collins sends it up, finds Toto. Toto dumps it into the Brookline end as St. Mary's commits to a line change. Gurdon skating up the line with it. Gurdon dumps it into the St. Mary's end as Brookline does a back line change. Puck deflects, kept on the attack. Sent off the boards by Aptekman. Chason sends it around the back to Narek. Narek lifts it over everybody, and that's going to go for an icing. So a goal scored by number 44, Evan Toto, assisted by number 10, Joey Calder. The first even strength goal from either side. From either side so far today, as everything up to this point has been on the power play. Shot was blocked, recovered by Erdman, wraps it around the boards. Narek battling against the boards with Ames. A couple more into the scrum now, and it's sent around by the Spartans. Katz keeps it on the attack as he wraps it around. Grady Ames takes it from behind, pass through, nobody there. Intercepted, and now a rush chance for the Spartans. Fitzpatrick pouring on the speed, sends a pass through, but nobody there. It's turned aside by Haas. Fitzpatrick recovers it in the corner, sends it back to Chason. Now across to Narek. Narek, long shot over the bar. And around the boards it goes. Knocked loose. Aptekman dumps it down in the St. Mary's end as Brookline commits to a line change, but Erdman steals it from around the back, but gets double teamed. Chason loses his balance, but gets a pass away. And it's taken by McGonigal. Now back to Chason. Chason dumps it into the Brookline end as St. Mary's commits to a backline change. McGonigal sends a pass blocked by the skates of Guo. Now gets a pass through, but it's knocked away from Fitzpatrick. Aton Cat takes it off the board, sends a long pass, and now it's taken by Michael Baldessari as he lifts it into the Brookline end. And we're going to have, are we having a delayed penalty call? What's happening here? No, they're calling just a normal stoppage, and it's going to be a neutral zone face-off. I'm not sure what was going on there. Was it an offsides against St. Mary's? That was very weird. Off the face-off, Caleb Racky with the puck, sends a pass, whiffed by Michael Baldessari, but he does get it into the Brookline end, chases it down along the back, comes around the corner and leaves it for Toto. Toto approaching, couldn't get a shot off as he's blocked by Young and Gurdon, but now it's taken back. Calder coming around the back. Calder looking, sends pass down, approaching, pass, Baldessari off the crossbar! And it goes into the netting for a dead puck, but Michael Baldessari had a perfect chance and just launched it high. Face off back to Michael Baldessari. It's blocked, controlled now by Brookline, but not far enough as it's tangled up along the boards. Knocked loose, Collins takes it. Collins a shot well wide. Wraps all the way around to the neutral zone. It's taken by Caleb Racky. Caleb Racky leaves it into the Brookline end. Around the boards, collides with O'Brien. It's knocked away by Grady Ames over to Erdman. Erdman lifts it high, knocked down by Driscoll, and they're going to say he knocked it down. I think they're going to say he either knocked it down illegally or he was back in the neutral zone, maybe, or maybe it had crossed the blue line where he hit it. I think that's what they're calling. I think they're calling it was technically an offsides because it was back across the blue line, but Driscoll's skate was over the blue line when he hit it. Off the face-off, Driscoll now dumps it into the Brookline end. Sent off the boards, blocked by Dallio. Dallio's pass misses, and Driscoll couldn't keep it across the blue line. They have to reset. Hilton battling along the boards with Ames, and Dallio takes it. Guo in pursuit. Dallio manages to keep it. Long pass misses everybody, and that's going to go for icing. .58 on the clock, and we got a note in the live chat from Barbara E. Pokorny. Great to have Ryan W. back on the ice. Go Brookline from his Grammy in Connecticut. Thanks for sending the good vibes, Barbara. Certainly happy to see Ryan Wilson back out there for Brookline after missing a large chunk of this season due to injury. Off the face-off, the attempt to clear deflects. Guo takes control, sends it down to the boards. Cat collides with Hilton. Cat sends it around the boards to an open Young. Young whips a shot blocked. Good block by Driscoll as Henry Ames controls it in the neutral zone. Weaves around one, dumps it into the St. Mary's end as he gets checked hard by McGonigal. Hilton leaves it for Driscoll. Driscoll off the boards, blocked by Jack Herman, who sends in a shot that is covered up by Brady Baldessari. It's coming down to the wire here at Walter Brown. Just a one-goal lead for Brookline with 8:28 left to play. Off the face-off, it's controlled by the Spartans. Long push through the neutral zone. Fitzpatrick battling for it, tangled up with O'Brien, and it's taken by Dylan Katz. Hard check by McGonigal. And McGonigal takes control, passes it back, sent back off the boards by number 16, who is not on my roster. Fitzpatrick passed. McGonigal couldn't get a stick on it through the double team. It's taken in the neutral zone. Aptekman weaving around a couple, gains the blue line. Long shot saved by Baldessari. Greg Aptekman has had a strong outing here, getting some time on the line with Erdman and Grady Ames. Off the face-off, controlled by the Spartans. Narek, long shot out to the neutral zone, deflected and taken by Gurdon. Gurdon through the neutral zone, tries to dump it into the St. Mary's end, a hard check stops that advance by Seth Walpowitz. Multiple players losing their footing, getting all tangled up, and now an approach, and a shot, and a save by Haas, and a rebound missed. Recovered by Tommy May. Lifts it forward to Young. Young skating 1-on-3, just dumps it into the St. Mary's end as Brookline commits to a forward line change. Narek gets it out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Calder. Calder, pass up to Chason. Chason trying to battle through Young for the puck. Looking around, pass. Couldn't get through cleanly to Collins, blocked by Gurdon. Young wraps it around, taken by Caleb Racky. Racky leaves it for Collins. Back to the point to Chason. Long shot knocked down, but saved off the bounce by Haas. That was almost a nice deflection by Caleb Racky. Toto pass knocked away by Young all the way down, and I believe that will go for an icing. .6:49 on the clock here in the third and final period. Brookline leads St. Mary's 3-2 despite a 27-12 shot advantage for the Spartans. Face-off controlled by Brookline. Katz wraps it around. It's going to be stopped by Caleb Racky, but poked loose by Aptekman. Aptekman racing after it himself. Michael Baldessari trying to clear it, but instead leaves it for Finn Racky, who's battling with Erdman. Erdman still battling, knocks it loose, but it's recovered by Dalio. Dalio trying to pass it away. Grady Ames applying pressure, but it's recovered by Nason. Nason skating with it. He's trying to fend off the forecheck from Grady Ames. Ames still battling for it. Ames got it. Ames turning around on the attack now. Shot blocked wide. Recovered by O'Brien. Pass through to Erdman. Erdman couldn't corral it. Still scrapping for it, and Ames takes it again. Now Erdman takes it off the scrum. Pass misses everybody, and it slides all the way down to the Brookline end. Disastrous end to that attack for Brookline, as St. Mary's commits to a full change. O'Brien passes across to Katz. Katz lifts a long pass, misses Guo, and it's going to be taken by Hilton. Hilton, long pass goes into the benches. And so that'll be a dead puck. 5:41 on the clock. Still a one-goal game. Impressive forecheck from Ames and Erdman on that play, but couldn't get any good looks at the net. Off the faceoff, it's controlled by Brookline. Young shot missed high and wide. Recovered by Henry Ames. Now battling along the boards. It's taken out by McGonigal. Pass up to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick lost it. Young sends it back. Taken by Hilton. Offsides. A little bit of a staring contest after the play is concluded. I don't know what's got them riled up there. But it'll be a neutral zone face-off off of the offsides. And now it's knocked back. Hilton dumps it into the Brookline end. Scrumming along the boards. Gurdon lifts it out to the neutral zone. Hilton knocks it back, intercepted. Henry Ames gains the blue. Approaching shot. Saved by Baldessari. Recovered by Guo. Guo sends it off the boards back to Gurdon. Gurdon winds, fires. Blocked by Driscoll. Cat pass couldn't get through. Blocked by Hilton. Hilton gets tripped. It's going to be a delayed penalty. St. Mary's with a chance to go 6-on-5 as they pull the goalie. McGonigal takes the puck, lost it, and leaves it for nobody as that will now begin the penalty. So Max Guo will go to the box to serve a 2-minute minor for tripping, and this is a golden opportunity for the Golden Blue of St. Mary's right now to try and tie this game. And in fact, it looks like a timeout has been called, presumably by St. Mary's, so they can plan their attack here on this power play during a very critical juncture of this game. 1 goal separates these two teams with 4:49 on the clock. Brookline hoping for an upset win to improve their spot in the power rankings and maybe get themselves a spot in the dance come the playoffs. St. Mary's trying to get out of a bit of a slump. They've lost 3 of their last 4, but still currently stand at a strong 7-4 record. Here we go, start of the power play for the Spartans. Face off, tangled up, knocked loose, passed back to Collins at the point. Collins, pass through, one-timer missed wide off the stick of Jacobson. Pass back to Fitzpatrick, Fitzpatrick down to Collins, Collins back to the point, Fitzpatrick looking, pursued by Ames, knocked back to the neutral zone. Ames still pursuing, Fitzpatrick passes away to Collins. Collins approaching, gains the blue, skates it down to the corner, kicked aside. Erdman trying to clear it out, but it's blocked by Fitzpatrick. Across to McGonigal. McGonigal shot high off the glass, and again blocked by Fitzpatrick. Keeps it on the attack. Jacobson to McGonigal, back to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick down to Jacobson. Shot is in! Maddox Jacobson sneaks one through for the tying score. Haas trying to argue something, as it looks like he didn't have his stick in his hand. I'm not sure what he's trying to argue, but it doesn't look like it's an argument he is going to win, as Maddox Jacobson, off the assists from Aiden Fitzpatrick and Cam McGonigal, ties us up at 3 with 3:59 left to play. Once again, the power of the power play proves powerful here today at Walter Brown. Hilton leading a 3-on-2 rush, fights through a defender, shot turned aside by Haas, just barely out of reach for Collins on the rebound. Not slowing down here with a tie score. Collins pass through, too much traffic, and it's knocked loose. Cat, long clear. I do believe this will go for icing. No icing. They say deflected as Brookline commits to a change. Long pass up to Narek, fresh off the bench. Narek's pass deflected, down, and ultimately recovered by Erdman. Erdman pass through traffic. Grady Ames racing after it. He's got it. Trying to spin off Narek. Sends a pass through, deflects. Brookline still pushing for it, but it's knocked out by Toto. Gurdon chases down the puck. Gurdon spins off Calder. Pass up to Erdman. Erdman keeps the puck, lifts one through the neutral zone, but nobody there. Driscoll takes it, dumps it into the Brookline end as St. Mary's commits to a backline change. Gurdon spins off Thornton. Pass gets across to Young. Young, long pass, nobody there. This, I believe, will go for icing. And it will. 2:37 left here in regulation. And we got to specify regulation now with a tie score. If there is no score in the next 2:37, we will be going to overtime. Tied at 3. Face off, controlled by Gurdon. Gurdon wraps it around. Cat trying to get control of it, but McGonigal takes it back off the collision. Guo comes away with it. Guo pass up for Cat, gets away from him. Narek wraps it around, and it's going to be intercepted. Pass through, just broken up by Narek. Young recovers, sends it down, intercepted by Narek again. Narek lifts it out to the neutral zone. McGonigal going to take it 1-on-1, 2-on-2, pass back for a 3-on-3. Now a shot is in! The go-ahead score from Nick Thornton, and St. Mary's takes the lead. Nick Thornton was tangled up with Henry Ames and just whipped the shot as best he could and ended up sending it top shelf for the go-ahead score. 4-3, St. Mary's leads Brookline here in the third and final period, as we got a timeout now called by Brookline. 2:03 to go, and now the shoe on the other foot. 3 unanswered goals for the Spartans here in the third period. Second game in a row that's happened to Brookline, as they had tied things up against Burlington on Monday 2-2 midway through the third period, but then gave up 3 unanswered goals to lose that game 5-2. Now this time they come into the third period leading 3-1, and they give up 3 unanswered goals and now trail 4-3. So Brookline has got to find some offense here against a team that has outshot them 2-1. 30-15, the shot count in favor of the Spartans. Out of the scrum from the faceoff, it's taken by Gurdon. Gurdon quickly gains the blue line. Puck slides down to the corner. Caleb Baracki leaves it for Evan Toto, who lifts it up. Blocked by Gurdon, bouncing through. Another attempt to clear, blocked again by Gurdon. Gurdon trying to keep track of the puck, and there's too many blue shirts in there. They're still trying to block it. They still keep it in the St. Mary's end. Michael Baldessari now lifts it out off the boards. Racing after it, Katz, no icing, gets it up to Erdman. Erdman trying to fend off the forecheck from Calder as he comes around the back. Keeps the puck, sends it off the boards into open space, chased down by Grady Ames. Ames dumps it into the St. Mary's end, chasing after it. As Brookline pulls the goalie, they're going 6-on-5. Empty net here. Gurdon fires a shot, deflects high and into the corner. Collins tries to clear, gets it past everybody. It's sliding down towards the net and chased down by Henry Ames. Ames, long pass, misses everybody, but it goes right to the net, and it's covered up by Brady Baldessari. So Brookline, with their net empty, trying to go 6-on-5. They've got 51.6 seconds to try and score and tie it up, with 6 skaters and no netminder. Face off, quick shot blocked, recovered, but knocked loose. Katz keeps it on the attack, sends it to the corner. McGonigal gets tangled up with Henry Ames. Wrapped around the boards. Hilton stopped by the double team. Recovers the puck, tries to send it through, blocked by Erdman. Erdman winds, fires, saved by Baldessari. Grady Ames battling for it. Tries to send a pass through, too much traffic. Recovers the puck, over to Gurdon. One-timer, knocked away by the defense. Pass intercepted now by Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick weaving through. Fitzpatrick approaching, shot, missed high. 14 seconds left, Brookline's got to hurry. Gurdon stopped by the defense. Stopped again, puck's taken back, up to Collins. Collins whiffed on the shot, but that's too much time. And Brookline's not going to have enough time to get a rush off, and that is going to end the game. The St. Mary's Spartans complete the third period comeback. 3 unanswered scores in the final frame, and they secure the win over Brookline 4-3. St. Mary's improves to 8-4 on the year, while Brookline falls to 3-6-2. Recapping the scoring, St. Mary's was first on the board off the first of several power play goals. The first one scored by Michael Narek. Brookline answered later in the first period with a power play goal of their own. That was scored by Thomas O'Brien. That made it 1-1 in the first intermission. Brookline had a very strong second period with 2 more power play goals. One scored by Grady Ames and one scored by Connor Erdman. That gave them a 3-1 lead going into the third and final period. But St. Mary's exploded for a flurry of goals. First, they got the first goal. I'm trying to recall all of them. Forgive me. The equalizer was scored off the pass from Joey Calder. It was scored by Evan Toto, I believe. And then Maddox Jacobson scored the equalizer, and then it was Nick Thornton that scored what turned out to be the game-winning goal. Okay, I got them all. Took me a second, but I got them all. Evan Toto, Maddox Jacobson on the power play, and then Nick Thornton for the fourth and final goal for St. Mary's as the Spartans hold on to win. And that's going to do it for the game, and that's going to do it for this live stream. Thank you all so much for watching today. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Remember, if you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. We'll be back covering Brookline boys hockey again on Saturday, although I'm going to be at a different location at Ryan Arena in Watertown. So be sure to stay tuned for that and plenty more. Subscribe to the channel can help. Thank you to all the fans who brought the good vibes in the live chat today. If there's anything you would like to say after the live stream is concluded, you can say it in the comment section down below. And also be sure to check out the description section down below where you can find some helpful links, a link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club if you would like to support the program financially. A link and phone number to our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Community Foundation. Find out how you can make a difference right here in Brookline. And also some helpful links about me, which you can also find in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or if you want to skip past all that, you can simply email me with any questions or requests you may have. And remember to follow me on Instagram, where I post highlights from previous live streams. But for this live stream, that is going to do it. St. Mary's 4, Brookline 3 from Walter Brown Arena. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.